If you're over the age of 5, you probably remember the fast food chicken sandwich wars of 2019. But what you might not realize is that war never ended. It's just not over sandwiches anymore. Over the past few years, fast food restaurants have been adding more and more chicken items, from new nuggets to tenders, tacos, and wings, at higher rates than they're adding beef, which is surprising in a country that's historically built most of its fast food chains on the burger.
Hardee's, where the burgers are charcoal broiled.
McDonald's Big Mac.
You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
Just look at McDonald's $5 new meal deal. If you look through the options, half of them are chicken. So why in such a burger-obsessed country are fast food chains doubling down on chicken? Now, in order to properly do this story, I'm gonna need to do some firsthand research and, more importantly, gather a few props. So I stole my boss's corporate card. Naturally, we're gonna start with one of the country's most successful fast food chains, and one of the first to really give a cluck about chicken. Sorry, was that a terrible pun? It's Chick-fil-A. It's now the 3rd largest quick service restaurant chain in the US by sales, which, by the way, have more than quadrupled over the past decade. Hi, can I please get a spicy chicken sandwich? Can the beverage be a milkshake? Oh, wow, that was so fast. Thank you. Ooh, that's me. Thank you. Chick-fil-A used to stand out from its competitors because it had this whole business model focusing on chicken. That is, until 2019, when the chicken sandwich wars created this major industry-wide shift towards poultry. If you need a quick refresh, in August of 2019, Popeyes launched its first chicken sandwich. Within 2 weeks, it was so popular that it was sold out nationwide.
We didn't expect to break the internet, and as a result, we ran out much sooner than we anticipated.
And Popeyes sales exploded as a result. Pretty soon, other brands clocked the trend and started to launch new chicken sandwiches, like Wendy's with its classic chicken sandwich in 2020. KFC and Jack in the Box also tested upgraded chicken sandwiches in 2020. And then in 2021, even Shake Shack, a chain known for burgers, launched its Korean-style chicken sandwich. Sonic had its chicken slinger sandwich, and Burger King with its Chiking sandwich. The chicken sandwich battle is still very much going on. McDonald's McCrispy chicken sandwich, which it put out in 2021, now generates $1 billion in annual global sales. And it's recently announced 2 new McCrispy sandwiches.
The margin overall, simply put, tends to be much more attractive and better. And it's not because you are buying a cheaper product, but also you can price it better.
Okay, now here's the important part. This wasn't just a fad or a gimmicky social media trend. This was a way for restaurants to break out of the bun and offer tons of new chicken menu items they hadn't in the past. And according to expert data, chicken items have been added at higher rates and lower prices than beef items over the past 5 years. So now, you're seeing that more restaurant chains are pivoting to poultry, and other brands with chicken-first focuses are absolutely killing it. Just look at Raising Cane's, famous for its chicken tenders. The chain is now the fastest-growing brand in northeastern and southern states. I find it especially interesting that so many traditional burger chains like Burger King, McDonald's, Shake Shack are now starting to put more of their eggs in the chicken basket. And I've narrowed it down to 2 big reasons why everyone's been flocking to chicken. The first, you can see right here on this menu. Hi, can I please do 1 Whopper and 1 chicken sandwich? The Whopper that I bought today cost $8.89. But if I came to a New York City Burger King 5 years ago, it would have been around $4.19. Americans are also now spending more of their income on food than they have in the past 30 years. But experts project that fewer people will dine out due to rising menu prices, and restaurant sales will drop. Oh, that's me. Thank you so much. Have a good one. There could be a few explanations for why menu prices keep going up. First, inflation shot up in 2020. But actually, that's not the whole story. Fast food prices have outpaced inflation, rising by 41% since 2017. But why? Well, for starters, you have to pay someone else to make the food, and those labor costs are going up. Even though the federal minimum wage has stayed the same since 2009, state minimum wages have been going up. By the end of this year, 25 states and 40 cities will have raised minimum wages. And within the next year or two, 13 states will have minimum wages of at least $15 an hour. Hi, can I get a burrito, please? Chicken. Okay, technically Chipotle is more of a fast casual restaurant than a fast food restaurant, but the same principles still apply. In 2023, Chipotle's labor costs reached over $2.4 billion, which was more than 50% higher than in 2020. So naturally, restaurants are raising menu prices to cover these added labor costs. And when prices go up, customers could start looking for cheaper menu items. That brings us to the second reason why chicken gets an extra leg up over beef. You see, beef prices have been rising unusually fast over the past few years. Since 2023, burger prices are rising twice as quickly as chicken sandwich prices. And now, burgers are on average 12.5% more expensive than chicken sandwiches across the US. Burgers are getting more expensive because the cattle that make the beef now cost more to raise. The US just doesn't have enough cows. Earlier this year, the Department of Agriculture said that the US beef cattle herd had shrunk to its lowest size since 1961, and it's supposed to drop more. Widespread droughts are killing off the cows' natural grassy food supply, which means farmers have had to pay more for hay and other supplemental feeds. That reduces their profit margins and drives up beef prices, which is then felt by consumers. The price of ground beef is up 32% since 2019. Thank you. You're welcome. At the same time, prices for chicken feed are actually getting cheaper. Chickens like eating corn and soybeans. And luckily for the farmers and the birds, corn prices are down more than 20% over the past 12 months. Soybeans are down about 15%. Long, complicated farming story short, we're basically producing more corn and soybeans than what we need, so prices are dropping. This cheaper feed is also huge for big chicken producers. Tyson saved about $190 million in feed costs in its most recent quarter. You can see how much more expensive raw beef as a commodity is than raw chicken, which helps explain why menu prices for burgers are rising faster. That's why the price of a quarter pounder with cheese meal has gone up 122% in the past decade, while a 10-piece McNugget meal went up 83%. And why McDonald's sells $25 billion worth of chicken products each year, making as much money from poultry as it does from burgers. I didn't do it. Okay, finally back in the office with the sweet air conditioning. All right, are we ready to start? Okay, wait 1 second. It's a little cold at this point. Foot traffic in US restaurants has dropped by about 3.5% during the first quarter of 2024. And in June, market research firm Technomic actually lowered its restaurant sales forecast it made earlier in the year. Now, restaurant sales can barely keep up with price hikes. Even the fast food titan McDonald's reported that its global sales had dropped for the first time in more than 3 years. But luckily for fast food restaurants, you can do a lot with chicken. Sometimes, arguably, too much. America's fast food restaurants have been known to make some pretty wild chicken creations to draw customers in, like in 2010 when KFC put out the Double Down, a sandwich that used fried chicken for buns. Or in 2017 when Taco Bell launched its Naked Chicken Chalupa, which used a slab of chicken as a tortilla. I desperately hunted for a Double Down and a chicken chalupa for this video, but sadly for some stupid reason, they're no longer available.
It's hot in customer demand, it's good economics, it's better for the planet, it's better for the packers. That's also why we expect this chicken to outgrow other categories and continue to do so.
Chicken prices are expected to rise a bit because America has too big of an appetite. The USDA reported that consumers ate around 100 pounds of chicken per person in 2023, compared to 57 pounds of beef and 51 pounds of pork. Finally, I've been waiting for the part of the shoot where I can actually eat something. Okay, what's my next line? Oh, yeah. Which makes sense because this is delicious. Oh my God, let's do another retake, that was terrible. Which makes sense because, oh my God, I hated that line too. Let's do it one more time. This, terrible. My boss said it, we gotta do another take. Shut up, get out of the shot. This is delicious. Yeah, let's do it one more time. Which makes sense because this is delicious. I'm not eating all day today, so. Okay. Major chicken producers are having trouble hatching enough chicks to meet demand, which has caused the amount of chicken in cold storage to fall by 11% from 2023 numbers, and boneless, skinless chicken breast prices to rise by 30%.
It's simple math, but these days it's much more profitable for packers to actually do chicken than beef.
I'm chewing this.
Why is that half eaten?
Okay, this is my boss, and we have all this leftover food.
You did some damage.